If you like to start wearing makeup but you just don't know where to start, if you've been watching all these YouTube tutorials but they just seem way too complicated and you don't know what to do, then this video is for you, because I'm going to take you right back to the very beginning and I'm going to show you the beginner's guide to makeup on a mature skin. I did a video recently on eye makeup and it's got a phenomenal response. If you haven't seen it, I'll put the link up here. But one thing I loved is in the comments how many ladies came and said, you've inspired me to start wearing makeup. I've not really worn it before, but you've inspired me. But also in the comments, there were ladies saying to me, it looks easier than it actually is, and I'm struggling to get that same look. So this video is specifically made for you. It's for you, the ladies out there who may not have grown up wearing a lot of makeup. So I'm going to make it as simple and as easy as possible. I suggest you watch the whole video, see where it goes. I'm going to put all the products that I'm using in the description box below so you can get the full kit yourself. Hopefully you'll have some things, but it's giving you the starting point of what you need in that very first makeup bag. And then ideally you'll be able to follow along and then do it yourself. So I want to do a makeup that is almost makeup for the non-makeup wearer. Is there such a thing? I want to do a makeup that is minimal, doesn't make you feel caked or heavy, but just as that step one, that's like beginner's guide to makeup. Primers are a great base. If you put a primer on the skin, what you'll find is any foundation goes on smoother and easier. It just looks better. And also the thing with mature skin, we get a little bit more open pores, which we don't have in our youth. So a primer tends to smoothen the pores a little bit as well, so you get a much smoother texture. I've got a couple of primers here. This is one by Il Makiage. This is a bit more expensive. I'm trying to give you options here, a price range as well. I do love this primer. This is great for your fine lines, your wrinkles, and just filling in the skin a little bit. This one here is a Maybelline. To be honest, they both do the same job. But I would say that the Il Makiage is probably a little bit smoother. So I'm going to pop that on now. You don't need much primer and you put it on a freshly cleansed, freshly toned and freshly moisturised face. So you don't need much. Okay, just got like a little bit of a blob on there. You don't actually need too much. And all I'm doing is I'm applying mainly around the areas where you get more your open pores and your fine lines. So around the eyes is a great place, around the nose, around the mouth. These nasolabial folds, the marionette lines down the side of your mouth, chin. We also tend to get far more open pores around our chin. Okay? So step one for your little makeup bag, primer. All right? There are so many primers on the market. I'll put a selection below. Again, price ranges, but in all honesty, they do the same job. I'm not going to go into depth with cover stick and contouring, anything like that. We're going to make this very, very simple. I've got a foundation here and I just wanted to go for a liquid foundation. This is an Armani one. The reason I've got this is it's a little bit of a heavier foundation, but we don't want that. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I've got a little bit of moisturiser here. This is a day cream by Elemis, an anti-aging day cream. Using a cotton wool bud, I'm just taking a little bit of that moisturiser on the cotton wool bud and I'm placing it in the palm of my hand. So all I've got is a little bit of moisturiser. We can do that. Now I'm taking my cream foundation and I'm just going to pop a little tiny dot of my foundation in with that moisturiser. The idea being that we don't want the foundation to be too heavy. We're almost making a tinted moisturiser. This is just a wide bristle foundation brush. So all I'm going to do now is just really massage that into the brush. I'm mixing it and I'm sort of putting it into the brush, to be honest. Okay? And then I'm just going to very gently wipe it over the skin. Just sweeping out from the middle and going out. And what this does is just gives a very light coverage. Feels like moisturiser, so you don't feel caked, but with the foundation mixed in it, you get a little bit of coverage. And that there should just look very, very natural. But can you see how quick and easy that is? Very, very easy. You don't have to go right into the hairline, you don't have to go into the ears. You're just flicking it out. What you want to do is just finish it off by going in downward strokes. The reason being is that the face has got little tiny hairs on them, and these hairs go downwards. So if you apply anything with a brush and you brush upwards, what you're doing is lifting these hairs, and that makes you look a little bit furry from the side. So you want to just flatten those down and give a really smooth finish. I'm just going to go and wash my hands because I've got that in the palm of my hand. Tiny amount of product, but it just looks natural. So let me just go and wash my hands, then we'll come back for the next bit. Okay, so I'm back. My hands are nice and clean. I'm not a massive fan of loose powder, so I'm really against this sort of cake powdering on, you know, the old powder puff and you look like you've been in a flower factory. One thing I do like here, now this is the handbag size, so it is a smaller one, but it's the handbag size. This is by Terry and it's a hyaluronic pressed powder, and I love this product. The reason being, it really absorbs any moisture and it doesn't look cake on the face at all. You don't feel it. It's almost like it just absorbs it a little tiny bit. You do get a little tiny little powder puff with it, but what you can also do is get a brush and just collect a little bit of powder on the brush there, very, very minimal, and then just very gently brush over, okay? And this literally will just, there you go, very quick and easy. It just sets it. I've got an eye palette here. This is a Charlotte Tilbury. The reason I like the Charlotte Tilbury, this gives you a selection of colours, which is all you need. Buy one product rather than to buy separate. And when they make a palette like this, what happens is they make complementary colours in one palette, which just makes your life a bit easier. These colours here are your neutrals, your browns. These tend to work on most eye colours as well. And what I'm going to use is a mid colour here. So it's this second colour in there. And all I'm going to do is place that over the whole of my eyelid and in the eye socket. You may have seen me use my very expensive eyeshadow protector. Take one piece of the toilet tissue, fold it in half, and I use that to prevent the colour falling down. So I'm just taking that colour and all I'm doing is applying it all over my lid. All over. So we're not doing any shading. I'm taking it in my lid and I'm just taking it slightly up my brow bone. Now, because I've got my tissue, I've angled my tissue from the corner of my eye up towards the corner of my eyebrow. And what that means is I almost can go on the tissue. If I wanted to, I could breath over the tissue. I mean, I wouldn't do that normally, but you can. And the eyeshadow's not gone down below it. Key with this is, don't use the same one for the other eye, get a fresh piece because there will be some residue. You place it on the other eye and you are going to be moving it. New piece, fold it in half, and we're just going to do the same on the other eye. So I'm taking it at an angle going up, and you're just going to put this one colour over the whole of your eyelid. So it's quite neutral. So I'm going over my brow bone. I'm not going right the very high bit up here. I'm not going underneath my eyebrow. So I'm almost just taking it into the socket and allowing it just to cover over the top of my socket. Okay. So now we can see we have a very natural colour. Okay, we're not going to do eyeliner. Eyeliner, I think, takes a bit more skill. So I'm not doing that. But what I am going to do is take a brush. I've used this brush before. It's a fine brush. It's got quite a firm tip to it. It's my favourite brush, this, quite a firm tip. So it's really good at sort of working along and smudging. But all we're going to do is take a little bit of the shadow and just place it a little bit underneath the bottom lashes. And this time I'm just going to go, so I applied this one the first time round. I'm now going to go for one darker. Okay, so I'm going to, it's not black, it's going to go slightly darker. So whatever I put on my lid, I'm just going to go for a little bit darker. And I just get a little bit of the shadow on the brush. Okay, just dabbing it on a little tiny bit. You don't want to be overloading the brush. And all the way to do, rub it very gently along your bottom lashes. So it's not eyeliner. There we have it. You see, it's very, very gentle. We're just using the powder under the bottom lashes. All we're doing is just brushing our lashes. It's almost like you're not applying any shadow, you're just brushing your lashes very, very lightly. And that will just give a slight frame to the eye. After that, all I'm going to do is apply a bit of mascara. It's very simple makeup. It's a lovely starter makeup is this. When you apply your mascara, give a little wiggle. The mascara I'm using here is a Mulberry mascara. It's a Maybelline. I like the Maybelline mascaras. And the nice thing is it's not too dark. And what I suggest is you only put it on your top lashes. Very, very easy, very, very light. Benefit do a fantastic eyebrow brush. It's like a sort of mascara, but it's a brush. It's a little tiny thing that you take out. So there's a brush on the end. If you can see there, you've got a little brush, and it comes in different colours. And it's so easy because all you're doing is you're brushing your eyebrows, but what it does is applies a little tiny bit of, it's like mascara for eyebrows. So if you can see there the difference in the two, and you see what it's done. I mean, I've got my eyebrows tattooed. I will talk about that in a separate video. It's a game changer once your eyebrows are tattooed. But if you can see the hairs there, there is a difference. So I'm just using this, go back in again. And then you're brushing your eyebrows all the way up. And then across. Very, very simple. When it comes to blusher, all I'm going to do is add a little bit of a rosy tint. I've got the Laura Geller, I've used this before in the past. So there we've got the Laura Geller kit. I'm just going to take that pink, and all I'm doing is I'm applying a little tiny bit just to the top of my cheeks, just to give a little rosy glow. Okay, very light, very simple, very quick, very, very easy. We're not going to be doing lip liners, but I'm going to show you the difference when it comes to lipstick. I've got two things here. This is a simple lip gloss balm, to be honest. I love this. This is one of the sort of things you can just put in your bag and take out and moisturise your lips. You just use your finger. So you don't need a brush or anything. So you simply put a bit on your finger. Just to the bottom lip so you can see the difference top to bottom. And because you're applying it with your finger, it's just so quick and easy. And there you have a very, very quick, very, very simple makeup. So this is a very, very natural makeup. This is the sort of makeup that, you know, you get a last minute phone call and someone says, oh, do you fancy coming out for a coffee or something, and you've no makeup on, and you think, oh, I can just whiz it on. You can do this in a few minutes. Practice it first, but you can do it very quickly. But if all of a sudden you realise you want to be more made up, the key is your lipstick. The lipstick changes everything. So before I go, I just want to show you this. I mean, I love this lipstick, but let me just take it off. Okay. Very simple, just take that off there. I'm not going to use lip brushes because we're not after complication. So this is a Maybelline lipstick. It's a darker colour. I'm going to show you the difference. I'm an advocate of lip brushes, but this is a simple makeup, so we're not going to use them. So by having a stronger lipstick actually makes you look made up. You don't have to start applying heavier makeup or doing more to your eyes. Just change your lipstick and that will change the whole look of your face. If you can get this, you can then start moving on and being a little bit more experimental. But have a practice, very simple, very easy. All the products I've used, and I'll also put a selection of others that do the same thing, and then you can choose what's right for you. I'll pop in the link below. But personally, I think you can do this and you can go out and look gorgeous. If you haven't already subscribed, it really helps the channel. Click the subscribe button below and then click that notification bell. All it means is that when I post new videos, you're the first to hear. And let me know if you've got any questions, and I, of course, will help you along this journey to finding the new makeup skills. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.